love. There's a smell from the view on the window. Your lipstick's a glint from your toothpaste. Spend time counting marks on your fingers.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined by gorgeous Phoebe, who you've seen on my channel before. Today I am going to be testing out the Canon R5 and the R6. I'm going to be putting them side to side, seeing how it works. Today is very overcast and gloomy, so it's going to be nice in comparison to my other videos. We're also doing a bit more of a fashion theme this time, not lingerie, which is a nice change for me, since I always have half-naked women on my channel. Before we get into this video, make sure to check Phoebe out. She's going to be linked in the description below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell button to not miss any of my future uploads. And let's get right into the video. If you guys haven't checked out my R5 and R6 videos, make sure you do. I'm going to link them down below. This video was the very last video that I filmed while having the cameras on loan. So it was kind of interesting because I was a bit more aware about what cameras, how do they work, what kind of features they have and so on. So it was definitely a bit easier to operate them. It was also the first time that I took them outside properly. Even though the other shoots were done on my balcony, it wasn't fully properly outside because it was against the studio backdrop. So it was kind of nice to test them out, see how the bokeh performs, see how the cameras handle changing of the light. That particular day was super gloomy as well. It was really overcast, which was very interesting because all the other days it was beautiful and sunny. So it was nice to kind of contrast it with that. So we are starting here. It's the very first place where we're shooting. The light is still kind of dull. It's actually really overcast today, which we didn't expect, but you know, what can you do? I'm shooting on the R5. I'm on f2, 250th of a second. Gorgeous. So today's styling we're going for is like kind of, just please don't fall, just the back.
I promise you I'll be fine.
So I'm just like, so we're going for this like really like 60s, 70s styling today. Ooh. Beautiful. So we just have this nice coat and the boots. Model's own. Gorgeous. So I'm just checking how the IF is. Looks pretty good so far. Yeah. It's lovely. So I think for this one, because we have so many people walking around, it's just easier for us to be shooting this way because then at least we avoid the crowds, which is good. And otherwise, if we have it like the long way, we can see so many people in the background. Cool. So now I'm on the R6. I like this frame because it's like we can see the canal a bit more. Gorgeous. So at the moment we're shooting on f2.0, 1/250th of a second. Beautiful. We're getting the little leaves in the background, which is really nice. I wish there was a bit of sun going through, to be honest, but obviously not the case. So with the close-ups, it's really nice. Beautiful. This is interesting. The bokeh doesn't seem nearly as strong on the video as it does in photos. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah, gorgeous. Oh yeah, we have the empty road behind us, yes. So this looks really nice because we have a really nice framing from the tree. We can actually have you a bit more, no, where you are is perfect actually, never mind. So we have a really nice frame from the big tree around us. And then we can see the canal and so on, which is really lovely, gorgeous. Perfect. Yeah, it's really pretty. I have to say the AAF is on point. Oh, there's a kitty behind us. Big kitty. I like this frame because it's like we can see the canal a bit more. Gorgeous. Yeah. Lovely. Gorgeous. The main difference that I noticed between the two cameras was definitely the color grading. I find that the R5 colors were a bit nicer for me. As I mentioned in the other videos, it might have something to do with missing color profiles in Lightroom. I had to purchase external ones, and you know, it was made by a developer, so it could have had something to do with that, but regardless, it did make my life a bit easier to color grade the R5. The R6, the colors were a bit different, a bit more washed out almost, so it's interesting to kind of see and investigate. I know that there's profiles for Capture One. I'm just not super familiar with it yet. I'm still learning, so it was just easier for me to go with Lightroom because I was way more familiar, and it was easier for me to just adjust them this way. If you like how my images look and you like how I color grade them, make sure to check out my preset packs. I have 2 new out, light medium and medium dark. They are available on my website anitasadowska.eu, and you can get a little discount code in the description below. Make sure to check them out. And now let's get back into the video. So we were doing some breaking and entering, and we're in this place here, just like leaning against the boat. Beautiful. So I'm still shooting on the R6. Gorgeous. I just wanted a bit more boat in the shot. Yeah, we're just having her against the boat, basically. Beautiful. So now we're going to be shooting on the R5. Cute. Beautiful. Yeah, it's cool. I like that. That's lovely. Yeah. So we're getting some really nice like wide shots now on 28 or 28 I think. And we're shooting on 2.8, 500 of a second. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, yeah. Perfect.
My skin's on fire, on fire.
As I mentioned in my previous videos, the video quality is also top notch. I am able to record at 4K 60 frames per second, which is definitely probably the max that I would record because I don't think my computer can handle any larger files, and because I mostly work for YouTube behind the scenes, I don't think I need anything a bit more. All in all, the video colors are really, really beautiful. The dynamic range in the images is really good as well. There's no clipped blacks or overexposed white, and they are pretty easy to bring back in Lightroom as well.
There are stains on your photo.
Okay, so this is our look number 2. We have this cute little shirt and the pants. I'm going to get her to sit kind of against here. So maybe if you sit on this and then rest one of your legs on the little step. And then I'll have this beautiful like set in the background as well. So it's gonna look really cute. So I'm starting with the R5. I'm going to be taking photos there. We'll see, maybe I'll go for like a higher F for this one because I want to see the scene a bit more. So for this one, I'm going to be shooting on f4.5, 250 of a second. Lovely. Cute. So one thing that I noticed when I shoot on a higher F, it doesn't really show on the camera when I show it on the screen, so it still looks pretty blurry. But then when I take the final photo, it looks much more in focus in the background, which I find kind of interesting, considering I can kind of see how the photo is, except the actual like sharpness. It's lovely. Yeah, that's my favorite, I think, here. Gorgeous. Okay, so I'm shooting on 70 now, because I kind of want to bring in a tiny bit of the backdrop, but I still want it to be quite... So even if you're not looking into the camera, if you're just like looking around, just like, oh. Yes, perfect, that's lovely, And you can look at me for a few. Yeah, gorgeous. Perfect. So we've changed into the R6 now. Yeah, cute. Beautiful. Gorgeous. And turn my way. Yeah. I feel like both cameras handled highlights and shadows pretty well, regardless of the overcast situation on the day. I think the skin looks pretty good, and it wasn't too hard to brighten the images, because as you see originally some of them were a bit dark. but overall it was pretty easy to balance out. I think the skin tones look still pretty nice regardless of the overcast situation. Yeah, so this one, the live view comes in very handy because I can see exactly what I'm shooting without having to look, because you know my camera is kind of lower down, so it is very helpful. I'll just chin up a tiny bit. Yeah, you can still look at me, but yeah, just perfect, just like that. And maybe just to your French a tiny bit, just so I can compare. Oh, hello. Excuse me, sir. One thing that I definitely enjoyed about my new setup was the 28-70 2.0 lens that I got with the setup. It was such a beautiful lens, I have to say. I was absolutely in love. It is a very, very heavy lens, as I mentioned in my previous videos, but regardless, it was a really beautiful piece of glass. And I took some photos to compare how the bokeh looks at f2 and then f5, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I think both cameras performed pretty well with the lens. I think the bokeh is so beautiful, so smooth. It looks really dreamy. You wouldn't even say it was f2, you would say it was probably a 1.4 or even 1.2. The blur was really, really nice, so I definitely was pretty impressed. Okay, so this is our look number 3. We have this like really nice canal set up, and then we can see the bit of a fog in the background as well, which I think is pretty nice. So we're just gonna start with the R5. We'll see what settings. I think this is pretty good. Yeah, it's actually really nice. I am going to go for a lower F though, because I don't kind of like the gorgeous. Yeah, that's nicer. Cool. Beautiful. That's really nice. Sometimes I click off, I noticed, with my fingers, and then the focus changes onto like wherever I want it to be. I should disable it because it's kind of annoying. But then when I click back on the face, it picks up. Yeah, beautiful. I think depending on what your needs are for photography and what your budget is, I feel like both cameras are a pretty solid choice. Regardless, I think both have an amazing IAF and autofocus in general. It's such a huge upgrade from having a DSLR, and this is definitely what I've noticed after shooting on my 5D Mark IV and on the R5 and the R6, that the focusing system is just absolutely blowing it out of the water. It's such a strong system, and it's definitely an upgrade from the 5D Mark IV that I had. I would definitely consider switching. I think either R5 or R6 are both very solid cameras. With the R6, obviously the photos are not going to be able to be cropped in as much because the photo image size is a bit smaller, but not everybody needs to crop their images drastically or just zooming in really closely. So I think it's all down to what you need. In the final look, we tried some walking shots just to add a bit of spice, see how the camera follows along and so on, and to see if the images are still sharp. And I have to say it performed pretty well on both ends with the R5 and the R6. They were both able to capture some nice movements. The face was still sharp. The eye focusing was working pretty efficiently. So all in all, it was super impressive because there was quite a lot of movement and there was quite a lot going on. And I know if I was shooting with the 5D Mark IV, the images would have probably been a bit blurry. But with the R5 and the R6, they both performed really well and I was able to get a nice sharp capture of my model walking. Okay guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much, Phoebe, for being my beautiful model. Let me know which photos did you like more. Did you like the R5 or the R6? What are your thoughts? I still can't decide. I'm making up my mind. Make sure to check out Phoebe. She's going to be linked down below. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you guys next time.
Every time I'm going out, the same things keep happening. New boy, same tricks.